welcome back to the channel. Today is something a bit different. We are at the launch of the Mazda MX-30. Now we only have the car for an hour, so it'll be a quick tour, quick opinions, and yeah, we'll have a look around because it's a really cool little car and we'll see what it's like. Now, as you may or may not have guessed, we are in a pre-production model and it's left-hand drive. So it's a bit different, a bit awkward, but we'll work through it and we'll be fine. Oh, it's weird driving on the left when everyone else is on the right. But anyway, we'll power through it just for you followers and subscribers. Thank you. Thank you to everyone actually who subscribes. And if it's your first time here, please do give us a subscription because it's always appreciated and I love you if you do it. So the MX-30, what are we dealing with? Well, this is Mazda's first foray into mass-produced electric cars. Mazda have produced electric cars before, but this is their first proper go at a proper everyone should be driving a type of electric car situation. Right, so what does the MX-30 have? Well, you obviously have a full electric motor with 145 PS, 265 Newton meters of torque, and a 0 to 100 kilometers an hour time of just under 10 seconds. Not the most rapid electric car, but still perfectly fine numbers, and for what is basically a small crossover, they're perfectly acceptable. Now, as this is an electric car, range is always the important question and always to the forefront of people's minds. Well, it is a smaller battery than in many of its competitors, but Mazda are giving it a bit more of a holistic approach. What they're saying is if you use a smaller battery, the life cycle CO2 footprint of that battery breaks even with a combustion engine much sooner than a larger battery. So I suppose you're buying into that idea of protecting the environment a bit more with that smaller battery rather than just this notion of protecting the environment, because obviously mining all the material for those batteries costs the environment. The result of that is that the range is a bit on the smaller side. So Mazda say 200 kilometers from a full battery, or if you drive around town, maybe as high as 265. The other theory behind it is that most of us don't need massive range, and the average daily commute is something like 48 kilometers. So 200 should be fine for you for 2 days commuting. That is a tricky argument for people because we're so used to seeing 600, 700, 800, 1,000 kilometers when we fill up the tank. I've said this in another video. When you fill up here, obviously you're getting like 200. We have 196 kilometers of range here, 91% battery. I suppose it's convincing people that they don't need that range is the thing. Most of us don't. It doesn't take a genius to figure out most of us don't need it. But we have those little arguments in our head like, but what if I want to visit Auntie Mary down in Killarney and that takes 300 kilometers to get there? That's the thing that we're not happy with, I think, because we're creatures of habit and we're so used to having that full range that we all love. But maybe we need to adjust it and actually think of the whole thing as Mazda is doing. Right, we're stationary again here for a few seconds because I just need to check my numbers for charging. It is capable of fast charging at 50 kilowatt hours, so you can get from 0 to 80% in about 30 to 40 minutes. If you use a wall box at home at 22 kilowatts, you're talking 4 to 5 hours for a full charge. The top speed is also limited to 140 kilometers an hour, but sure. No one would ever need more than that, would they? Would they? No, never. The interior is so cool. I just love all the variety of fabrics used. There's kind of wool on the door card. There's this vegan leather. Well, vegan leather? Vegan friendly leather. It's not made out of vegan people. It's obviously not made from cows. And it still feels decent. This one's nicely padded here. Won't have any complaints. Looks really cool. I do like the fabric on the seats mixed with the brown. Yeah, it's just interesting and a bit different. Without going too different, like some electric cars go so mad inside, but anyone else who sat in would know exactly what to do and where to find stuff. Now the whole interior is eco-friendly, so that vegan-friendly leather. There's recycled plastic, and there is some cork down here around the dash and in the door handle that represents where Mazda started as a cork maker. So now, there you go. You learn something new every day. It's very cool, but very hipster. Maybe that's why I like it so much. This is very hipster. I love the wool. Really love the wool. Now, I won't go into too much on the spec and details because obviously this is not an Irish car and we should have one in 2021 and we'll know exactly where we stand. But looking around here, there's some very nice features. Nice screen down here, screen up the top. You've heated seats, heated steering wheel. Dash is really cool too. There's cameras, there's settings for your seats. There's a little hidden pocket under the gear selector down here that's also covered in cork. Pricing starts in around €40,000 and can climb to 45. That is before grants. So you will be able to get into an MX-30 at about €30,500 to be precise, after those grants and VRT rebates of about €10,000. So how does it drive? It doesn't quite have the massive kick of some of the electric cars, but it's fine. Like, the idea is to have it around town, and that's what I've been doing, and I won't see any complaints. Gets off the line very well. It's very comfortable. I haven't noticed any of the ruts or bumps too much. It hasn't upset the cabin. It's nice and quiet. There is some noise that is fed into, so most electric cars feed noise out to the people outside, but the MX-30 actually feeds noise to the driver to give you that sensation like an engine where you hear something when it actually takes off. And Mazda have fed that into the cabin as well as outside as well for the safety of exterior people. Yeah, it does not deliver that huge electric torque that some of them do. I'll just ease back a bit. Slight bit. No one's behind me. Put the foot down. Yeah, noise is actually all right. It does give you that kind of fake engine noise, but it's all right. I wouldn't complain too much. But yeah, maneuvers around fine. The dimensions are actually a bit smaller than you'd think in pictures. It is quite a neat little crossover. How do you feel about the looks? That kind of retro coupe crossover vibe going on? I really like it. I think it's got a kind of it's got a face, a cute little face. It's like it's as if Jim Henson made it from like a Muppet. It has just a cute little face. I do like it. It looks really well. Even cooler than the interior is the doors. They are called freestyle doors. And if you remember the RX-8 from a few years ago where they open that way, so you get this huge gap, no pillar here in the middle, and they just look cool. They're just so different. Yeah, this is growing on me. The more I'm in it, I could see the appeal of it. Really could see the appeal of it. I'd be intrigued to test it against the Honda E because I think that's probably where they're aiming, because range is about the same. Cool funky looks on both of them, and similarly priced. So that's definitely where I think the competition is. Maybe one thing to keep in mind is it is a 5-seater, but the back is tight enough, and if you're on the taller side, your head will be kind of rubbing off the top, and it's a bit dark back there. It's actually got this 3-window setup, so visibility is pretty good. You get this little like submarine window at the side there, which is kind of cool. That is our MX-30 quick 1-hour review. Please do let us know what you think in the comments. Is it an electric car that might tempt you in, or would that range put you off? I really like it. Like, I think I can get on board with this, which is not something I've said on electric cars. Love the interior, quite like the exterior, love the doors, really love the doors. It'll be interesting to get it for a week with the steering wheel on the proper side and see what we're dealing with, because I really like it, and it will be interesting just to test out that range. I've not obviously had a proper test. I've only used like 10% battery or whatever, just tipping around here. Yeah, it's a cool little car.